Feel like a bird, you keeping me happy, you getting me deep. Ask me who my search.
Gotta say word, keep getting me what I'm looking for. I just gotta tell everybody, I don't wanna keep it on the low. Goddamn, I love her. I love her. Goddamn, I love her.
Hey guys, what's poppin'? It's your girl Twanaldn, aka whatever's feeling today, and I am back with another video. This is another video for my Notion series and another amazing template you can add to your collection, especially if you've read the 12-week year. This Notion template is all about taking the rules, taking the knowledge, taking the power and putting them into Notion so that you can apply that book day to day every single time you want to complete the 12-week year in your own life. If you haven't read the 12-week year, I really recommend you read it first before getting this template. However, I have added a page which kind of summarizes what the 12-week year is about and the key things that I mentioned. So yeah, if you're interested in this 12-week year template and how you can apply it into your everyday life, then let's dive into the video. So a quick disclaimer as always, if we lose contact, it is because I am looking at my screen. Unfortunately, I cannot multitask with the two pairs of eyes that I have. So if you see me just looking to the side, it's because I'm looking at the screen. So as you can see from my screen, this is the 12-week year Notion template. This is what you would get. It doesn't look like much right now, but I'm telling you, by the end of this video, you're gonna want this Notion template for yourself. So looking at it, it comes with this lovely banner, which you also get with your template. It's through Canva and you can change and add the pictures as you please and write whatever you please. It's fully editable on Canva and you can download it. It will fit perfectly onto your Notion template just like this. So yep, it just says 12-week year at the top and it says crushing my goals one step at a time, because that's what the 12-week year is all about. It's about hitting them tiny milestones so that it adds up to you achieving that overall goal you're trying to achieve. So as you can see here at the top, we've got this bar which covers multiple different areas of this template, and we are going to just dive straight into the first bit, which is the life audit. This is your life audit page, and this page is very, very key. I feel like this is a good page to start when you come to set up your 12-week year, because it will help you to really get clarity on what goals it is you're trying to achieve. So essentially, this is what it is. You get this tab here that kind of explains how to use this page. So even if you forget what you've watched in this video, one, you can come back to this video at any time, and two, I already inserted a little section for you to get a quick understanding of what it is that is required for you in this page. But overall, what it is, the 12-week year mentions different life areas, life zones, whatever you want to call it, and it basically tells you to rate those different zones out of 10. The higher the score, the less priority it is, and the lower the score, the higher the priority it should be. This is great for anyone who doesn't really know what it is that they want to focus on right now in their life, doesn't know where they want to start working on or what goals to set. Doing this life audit will help you to become very, very clear on which areas you need to focus on. These are just generic life zones that the 12-week year gives you, but you could always make your own and add on if you've got any additional life audits. Like for myself, I have YouTube, so YouTube/content creation would be a separate life zone outside of all of those existing ones. So if you have any other life zones that you want to apply, just feel free to add them in. All you gotta do is go to the bottom and click new page, and it will literally add the row in. And look, I will show you right now. You can type in YouTube and then Bob's your uncle, that's it. So yeah, essentially what you want to do is rate out of 10, so you get all of these stars that are already included from 1 to 10. And then how I tend to measure it, and I'm not sure if the 12-week year uses the same rating, but I've just kind of like separated it. So anything from like 0 to a 3 is a low score and should be a high priority. Anything from like a 4 to a 7 is like in the middle and should be a medium priority. And anything that is 8 to 10, which is a great score, it should be a low priority, and they should be the least you focus on in this 12-week year. And then at the end, you also get whatever area it is. So if it's personal, if it's a business, it can just help you to categorize it into different areas if you wish. So once you've given each life zone a rating, what you want to do next is open that zone up. And when you open that zone up, you will get this 2 boxes to fill out. You really need to fill this out because it will help you to get clarity, and it's good for reflection once you've actually completed your 12-week year, if you've managed to achieve what that is. So what you essentially need to do is write in this box here your current reality. Like, what is it that how do you currently feel? Where are you at in this zone? Such. Why have you given it the rating, the current rating? And basically write that. Go as detailed, be as emotional as possible. The more depth you add to it, the better, because it helps you to really understand why you've given that area that particular score. Underneath that is where you want to go into your vision 1 year from now. This is good because it helps to kind of give you a goal to work towards. Like, where do you see yourself in this area? Like, where do you see this area or this zone in your life in 1 year's time? So for example, with myself with YouTube, I want to see myself at 1,000 followers and monetized. Do you know what I mean? So now I know what that looks like a year from now, and right now I'm currently at 240 subscribers, so you can see where I'm at in that, and then I can start to develop a plan or develop some goals or some habits that I need to start implementing to get me to that goal, if that makes sense. So be as detailed as possible. The more detailed the better, just for your own reference. You want to do this for all your zones, and obviously take away and add as you please, but you want to do that for all your zones. Once you have completed all your zones and you have a good idea of where you should be putting your focus in this 12-week year, you then ideally would like to go onto your vision board. So after you've completed your life audit and now you're clear on what it is that you want to focus on, you can then develop your vision board. I've kind of put this in a grid format because not everybody is like Canva savvy and knows how to make these vision boards on Canva. However, I will link a free template to my Canva template that you can use if that's what you prefer, and you can just drag that and drop that in here instead of using this grid format. But the reason why I went with this grid format for this is because you can really get clear on what it is that the picture is trying to highlight. So for example, here you can see clear skin, start content creation, travel to 4 countries, upgrade my wardrobe. It helps you to really like name what this picture is trying to resonate. Even though it is your vision board and when you look at it, you'll probably know what it is you're trying to say. But I don't know, just having clear skin, start content creation, lose weight with the picture that's aspiring to do that, I think it just gives more context to your vision board than just having a load of pretty pictures together. So essentially how it works, you just click into there and then you just drag the picture in here. It's automatically set to show the context of that page, and then that's when it will show like this. You can reposition this as you please so that you can focus it on wherever you want. Like, don't feel like how it sets, that's how you have to keep it. No, you can literally reposition this as many times as you want, and you can add as many pictures as you want. Just click this box here, you get it. You could type, I don't know, YouTube or something, and you literally just drag the photo in here and it will load, and then Bob to Uncle, that's it. And then you can write the title, etc. This page also has how to use it page, so if you ever get unclear or you're ever unsure, just literally click that drop down box and it will explain to you how to use this page. So once your life audit is done and once you have completed your vision board, the next step would ideally be your aspiration letters. But before I tap into the aspiration letters side of this, I just want to make it clear that there is a 12-week guide in this, and I've basically summarized the book, its key concepts and methodologies that you guys can reread up on to give you like that quick memory if you have read the book a while ago. If you haven't read the book at all, I would recommend you reading that book first before getting this template. However, this is just to remind anyone who has read the book like what the concepts were and how that relates to this template. Anyway, the last bit that you kind of want to do before we really get into the nitty-gritty stuff is your aspiration letters. So this is very, very important, and this page covers that. You have a button here to add in a letter as you please. It automatically adds and it duplicates as a template, and it automatically duplicates with the date that you have added it. So as you can see here, it's added a new letter and it's applied the date at the end. So you will always know when you want to add a new letter, no matter when in the year, it's always going to be there and you can always go back to it, and that's the beauty of it. So I've just clicked into letter 1 and it's already got the date in there and it's got this space. This is the life I desire. So in the 12-week year, it mentions that you go into a lot of detail of where you see yourself in the next 3, 5, 10 years. What do you aspire, like what it is that you want, and you go in massive levels of detail. Like the deeper you get into it, the better. And you want to write that out. Like you want to go as deep as like, how do you feel? Like what's your day-to-day life? What does your dream house look like? Dream cars, your dream career. What routine do you have? What do you eat? How do you talk? How do you dress? How do people feel when you walk in the room? Like, all of these are very, very key questions that you want to kind of address in this, but really get vulnerable yourself. So I've helped out by applying "This is the life I desire," and you just pour in that. This is basically a letter to your future self. This is a letter from your present self to your future self of where you're trying to go. And it's beautiful because when you get so emotional and so deep with yourself and you come back to that letter a year later or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years later and you read where you was at in 2025 or 2026, whenever you're watching this video, you'll be so amazed at how much you've transformed over such short or long period of time. So again, the 12-week year covers it in a bit more detail, so feel free to tap into that, but you definitely want to write yourself a letter. So once you've kind of covered this entire top row and you've tapped into everything, you want to come back to the main page, and the main page is the main page. This is where everything happens, and this is the beauty of this template. So the first thing is that you do get some instructions at the top which help you to kind of get set up with this page, as well as watching this video that you're watching now. So feel free to read that in your own time. After that, as you can see here, we have 3 different columns for 3 different things. In the first column, we've got a 12-week year countdown, and you will put in the end date, so the last day of your 12-week year here. And so every time you come back to this template, you have this countdown reminding you how long you have left to achieve what it is you are trying to achieve. It's just that kind of reminder to say, oh, okay, cool, I have 12 weeks left, or I have 9 weeks left, or I have 2 weeks left. Do you know what I mean? It really counts down to just give you that reminder every single time you come back to this template. In the middle, you've got your vision. So that's why it's so important to do the other things first. After doing those, your vision will become so clear. And I want you to write your current vision here. So I've put an example there so you can kind of go off and then you can go and write your own. But essentially, this is what the example I've given you is. My vision is to continue to grow and elevate in order for me to be my best self. I want to be able to love, care, and treat those who have always been there for me and set myself up for an amazing future. Boom, that's your vision. That's where you see yourself right here, right now. That is your current mentality. That's where you're at. That's what you see for yourself. The next and the last column, that is just some keywords and quotes that you want to remind yourself in this 12-week year on a day-to-day. So I'll put some examples here again. I will show up for myself. I will remain consistent. I will put myself first. I do matter. Like, all of these things will just be in your face every single time you come to a 12-week year, because how the 12-week year works, you should be coming to it every day anyway. So seeing that every day and seeing your vision every day will just help to give you clarity as to why you are doing the 12-week year. So after you've got clear on your vision, after you've got some words of affirmation and some powerful quotes to keep you going, we then get to this main section here. And it doesn't look like much, but wait for it. So this is an example I've added so you guys can see how this template works. So you guys can understand how it works and go through this template, examine it, click into pages, everything. It's literally there for a reason, for you to play about with, to see how powerful this template is. So when we drop down this box, this is what we get. I know. It's a lot. And that's the beauty of this. Like, I've kept it because I like to keep things neat and tidy. That is why I've put it all in this little drop down box. So if you ever wanted to close it, you ever wanted to get rid of it, just feel to minimize it anytime. This whole thing is this button here. So anytime you want to start a brand new 12-week year, you click that add a 12-week year, and it will duplicate this whole thing every single time. Every single time you will get this. And it's good because if you're someone that wants to do multiple 12-week years, you don't have to alter this one for your next one. You can literally keep them separate, and you can always go back and use it kind of like as a tracking thing if you wanted to, and just monitor your progress, monitor the new goals you set for yourself, and always go back to it. That's why it's so important to put this 12-week year and then the dates, when you started, when it finishes, so you have that to always go back to. The beauty of this, when you minimize it and once you're done, if you don't want it to stay on your main page, you can archive it. I've added a page where you can add archive 12-week years so that you don't have to leave them all here on the main page. I've also added a little instruction box here so you can always refer back to how to use this 12-week year. But I'll quickly just show you now. So essentially, once your 12-week year is done, you're finished, and you want to start a new one, essentially what you're going to do is drag this by the little 6 dots like here, and then drag it over archive, let it go, and then it literally goes into here. I have created another drop down box here for like 2025, but you can duplicate that and add it for 2026 and 2027 and so on. And then what you want to do is just drag it underneath there, or whatever year it is, and then close it. Look how neat that looks. Okay, so now we're gonna go through the main power, the main body of this template. The main reason why you're gonna download this template is because of this main section here. So each section comes with instructions. These highlighted yellow box are all instructions for you to follow if you are ever unclear. So what you will get, first of all, is your goals overview. So remember we mentioned that in your life audit, you are going to use that to help you set some goals. So for example, let's say your physical health is not on a good level, it's a 1 out of 10, and you want to lose some weight or you want to gain some weight. That would be a goal you would add into this section here. As you can see, to gain weight at 80 kg. The next one could be content creation or YouTube or a hobby that you want to, get better at, add that in, etc, etc. So basically what you want to do is either go off your life audit and make goals based on the lowest school ratings, or just anything that you want to focus on. Even if it does have a good score already, you feel free to set that as a goal for your 12-week year. It's not compulsory for you to go off your life audit. If you have a goal that you want to work on and you have a goal that you want to achieve right here, right now, put that into your 12-week year and put that as your focus. It is totally up to you. This is your template, this is your life. Do what's best for you. This is where you'll set the goals. I'll just show you an example. So let's add a new goal, and let's say this new goal is to make your first 10 sales. Say you have a business, for example, you've just started, you've launched it, everything, and you want to make your first 10 sales. So first of all, what you want to do is you want to change the status. If you haven't started working towards sales, or this goal just hasn't started yet, then put it as obviously not started. Or if you're in the progress of doing this, in progress, and then done is done. So we're going to put this in progress because it's a part of your 12-week year, and everything that's on here should be started, unless it's something that you are going to start like on a specific date during your 12-week year, and obviously put it as not started. So let's say the current goal is 0 and your end goal is 10. This kind of helps you to obviously see the progress bar, and you will also get your progress in text. So it will say you have reached 0 out of 10, and then you'll also get the status in text. So this obviously it will have a clock and say not achieved yet. If or by any chance you smash it in the first week and you get 10 sales out of 10, you then can change this to done. You can also see that it changes the status to complete. You could add the completion date to say the completion date was today. As soon as you add that completion date, it will change when your goal was achieved, and it will add the date. So say goal achieved on the 4th of the 8th 2025, and then you will see before that it went missing from this page because this is your active goals page. If you go over to your completed, you will see, oh, learn new languages in there as well. You will see your first 10 sales are in there as well. And Bob's your uncle. That's literally it. Okay, so now that I have explained how the goals work, let's go back to the active goals area and kind of dive into the next steps. So I'm going to use the weight gain one as an example. So as you can see, as I mentioned before, you've got the weight gain, you've got the entries in, so your current goal, your current total, and your end goal. You've got your progress bar, you've got your progress in text. We don't have a date completion yet because this is not completed, it's a still ongoing goal. And then we've also got the goal achieved in text, so it says not achieved yet. And then we've got our weekly tactics. As you can see, that's been linked to this goal. The key tactics that are linked to this goal is the weekly tactics that you have suggested for yourself. So as you can see here, every single time you add a goal, you will get this box that says what tactics will help you to achieve this goal. Essentially, based on the 12-week year, what you want to do is break down your goal. What is it going to take from you to achieve this goal? So for example, for the weight gain one, I need to eat 3 meals a day, and I need to go to the gym 4 times a week. Those are my 2 tactics that I think is going to help me to achieve my 80 kg weight gain. So that is what I will put in this box, which we will later apply to the weekly tactics database. You want to do this for all of your goals. So looking into build my YouTube to 1K subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed already, then what is you doing? Can't you see I'm trying to reach that goal? But anyway, all jokes aside, as you can see here, I put post 1 video a week and respond to all comments. Bam, those are my tactics that's going to help me to build my community. I don't want to put a number on how many goals you should have, but if you're not going to base it off your life audit, I would say you wouldn't want to put no more than 5. I don't think 5 is too much, depending on what they want from you. Like say for example, as you can see, there's only 3 here which are very doable, but if you've got like 5, 6 or to 10, you want to make sure it's doable for yourself, because you don't want to do too much and then you put half effort in, or you're always overwhelmed, or you're always tired, and then you never achieve any of the goals because you just put too much on yourself. The 12-week year is to help you figure that out and to prioritize. That's why it's so important that you do your life audit audit, because then you can really rank which goals are important to you in this 12-week year. That doesn't mean the other ones will never get done. They could just be in your next 12-week year, if that makes sense. But right now, right here, this is what we're focused on. So I personally wouldn't go above 5 if you have the time, but I think 3 is like the perfect amount, maybe 4 max. So again, once you've done that, the next step is the weekly tactics. So as you can see here, this database is quite complicated, so I'm gonna need you to follow me. So essentially what we have here, we have 3 different tabs for 3 different things, and you will need to know which tab you need to use in order to have this template work effectively. So in the first tab, it's called duplicate. In this section here, that's exactly what you want to do. You want to insert your tactics from your goals, and you want to add them in under the duplicate week, because that is the week you're going to duplicate 12 times so that you can link them to every single week. So as you can see here, we have entered in the tactics from the goals mentioned previously. We've then linked them to those goals. So as you can see here, it says to gain 80 kg, to gain 80 kg, to build my YouTube channel, to build my YouTube channel, to improve my baking skills. You can literally see which tactic is linked to which goal. You then also want to put your frequency. So how many times are you going to do this tactic? For example, eating 3 meals a day is 7 times a week. Go to the gym 4 times a week, obviously that's 4 times a week. Post 1 video a week, obviously 1 time a week, and etc, etc, etc. You then can put in the days. So if you are someone who is very day specific and you need like a routine, like say for example you post every Thursday, or you want to go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, like these are where you would select those days. This is not compulsory, like you do not have to uphold these days, but it's just kind of for clarity if you are someone that likes to look at these things. So the next 3 columns you can see under the duplicated week are empty, and that is how they need to stay. They need to stay empty because this is the week you are going to duplicate. If you put a week in your duplicated week section, what that is going to do is every time you duplicate that week is going to link it to that week. So for example, if you put week 1 in select a week, every time you duplicate your week, it's going to automatically link to week 1, which is going to affect your progress. It's going to affect all the calculations because everything is linked to week 1. You also want to leave the same for your weekly scorecards, which we are going to come to the end. You want to link them to its week to make sure that you are tracking this accurately. And then the due date. You don't want to put a due date in because obviously you don't know when you're going to start this and when you're going to do this. So you want to add the due date as you go. So the due date is basically the end of the week. So depending on when you start in the week, so if you start your weeks on Sunday, obviously the last day will be Saturday. If you start your weeks on a Monday, obviously the last day will be Sunday, etc, etc. So that's so important. Once you have left that blank and you've duplicated it and you've added your tactics, you want to duplicate this 12 times. Yes, 12 times. So as you can see, this is linked to week 1, this is linked to week 2, this is linked to week 3, and so on. And you want to do that for all 12 weeks so that when you go to actively tick these off, they are automatically linked to their week, which is the next tab, tick it off. Tick it off is basically where you're going to go to actually track your tactics that you've added. It's so important that you set up the duplicate week properly in order for this to work. So now that you've done that successfully and you've done it properly, you've duplicated your 12 weeks, they are all separated, you now have them in their own little boxes now. And essentially, based on the frequency, will base on how many times you tick them off here. So as we mentioned before, for posting a video a week, we want to do on Thursdays, it's ticked off, it's 100%. But say you did do 2 videos, it will go to 200%. If you did no videos, it will be 0%, if that makes sense. So as you can see, the frequency is linked to how many times you post. Even if you forgot to post on Thursday and you posted it on a Friday, it will still show up 100% because we're only human at the end of the day. But as long as we get it done, we get it done. That's the main thing. The same will work for baking. So say you're supposed to bake 2 times a week, you've got them both ticked here. However, say you forgot to bake on the Sunday, you untick it, you only baked on Tuesday, you only hit 50%. Say you're meant to go gym 4 times a week, as you can see here, we only went 3 times, 75%. But say, I don't know, we had the willpower and we just said, fuck it, we'll go to the gym on Sunday, bam, 100%. And this, what I love about this is that you actively get to see if you're hitting your goals for your tactics. And then what I like about this is you can just close them once the week is done and just focus on the week that you are currently working on. So say we're just on week 2, bam, 100, 100, 175. Why are we on 75? No, we're gonna go to the gym on Sunday, 100%. Do you see how this works? Now that's why it's so important to get the duplicated week properly set up properly in order for this to work. And then essentially you just do this, it's just the same thing. Obviously you would have it all the way up until 12. I've only got 4 on here because it's literally just an example. And again, it's the same things every single time. We do have a final view. This final view is just another angle to look at your tactics. So if you don't like the tick it off one, this is just like an overview. If you just wanted to have a quick overview of how you did through all your 12 weeks in one place, this is the view you would go to. So as you can see, you've got week 1, week 2, week 3, and you can really get a look at to see which ones you're smashing out the park. So as you can see here, you've got 100% to respond for comments, 100% to respond for comments. Do you know what I mean? You get to really see where these are showing up on an overall basis and where you're not really consistent in and where you need to pick up and where you need to improve and the areas that you're doing well. So this is really good for just like an overview perspective. So whilst you're doing that, remember before in the duplicate section, we also linked our weeks to a weekly scorecard, as you can see here. So that is this section here. In the last bottom section here, the 12-week year mentions that you should have like a weekly reflection, a weekly review of how that week went and where you can kind of improve. That is what your weekly scorecard is. You're going to rate that week. How did you do? And the beauty of it is you've actively got your percentages to let you know how your week went. So if you got 100%, you know you had a good week. If you had 20%, you know you had a bad week. The 12-week year does give you like a range of what the scores mean, but I know essentially if you are in the, I think it's if you're in the 70 plus mark, you are on the way to achieving your goals. You're on the way to smashing that goal out of the park, because 70 to 100 is basically a great place to be. If you are in the 50 to, I think it's the 60 to 70, you're not doing too bad. You could achieve your goals, but there's room for improvement. And I think if you get anything under 60, you're basically not gonna hit your goal at the end of the day. You're not gonna hit it. So ideally you wanna be aiming for the like minimum 60%, because there's always room for improvement. But ideally you wanna be in that 70 plus range. So your weekly scorecards have a progress bar. Those progress bars are linked to your average percentage of your week, of how many of your tactics you ticked off. So that is why it's so important to link everything in the right places, because as soon as it's synced, it's going to calculate it correctly. So if we go to week 1, based on everything you ticked off, because look, as you can see, they are linked here, it will give you the average percentage. You can give it a score. Because we have got 84%, I would say give yourself a 5 out of 5, but because I'm a bit harsh on myself, I'm going to give myself a 4, because it's not 100%, it's not 90%, it's 84. So again, and then that, so you would rate it, that's your opinion, out of 5, and then you will see your progress bar. So even if you're unsure, you don't really remember, your progress average will help to kind of highlight if you had a good or a bad week. And then in the bottom, you basically just want to highlight what went well. So you would go back to that week, see what went well. So yeah, I had my 3 meals 7 times a week. I went to the gym 4 times a week. Boom, that's what's going well. What needs for improvement? Oh, I only baked once this week because of time. That is what you would put in the room for improvement for next week. So you know for next week what you need to keep on doing that's working well for you, but what you also need to improve. And I think that's so important when it comes to these things. So look, if we go to week 2 now, as you can see, it went up. So we went from 84 to 95. So basically, based on the feedback in the previous week, we should ideally go up. However, we are only human at the end of the day, and we will have days where we might not have the energy, we might not have the mindset, life can happen and stuff just like shit happens at the end of the day. And you might not have the perfect 3rd week and it dropped down to 69. That's okay, as long as you pick yourself up and the majority of your 12 weeks you're in that like 70 plus range, you're well on your way to achieving your target at the end of the day. The book also mentions a week 13. The week 13 is so important because it helps you to reflect on the 12 weeks as a whole and what was you proud of, what was most challenging, but how did you overcome it? Is anything you learned in the first 12? It's just like a very deep reflection, like what was good, what was bad, what was challenging, what did you learn, and like how could you take that and apply it to your next 12 weeks. So I've added this in so you can get that reflection done of part of your 12-week year. So when you're ready to go for your next one, you already know this is what didn't go well, this is what I found challenging, this is what I need, this is what I learned, this is what I need to change, so you can make those alterations for your next one straight away. I think that's the beauty. I feel like the 12-week year is a great way to start if you are someone who is finding it challenging. and you are wanting to achieve your goals, but you're not consistent, you get distracted easily, or if you're someone that likes metrics, like it's kind of like a game, like you like ticking off the boxes, you like to see it go up, all of these kind of things, then this template is definitely for you. So I know I've just ran you through the whole template and the beauty of the template and how powerful it is, but I feel like the duplicate weekly tactics is the part that's going to catch people out. So that is the section that I am going to go over right now, so that you know actively how you're going to do this when you get your template. I feel like everything else is quite straightforward, so I don't really need to go into it. However, if you do have any questions, just feel free to drop me a message. I don't bite, and I will help you as much as I can. So again, this was just an example, but what we're going to do, we're going to literally press this button. Pressing this button will help us to duplicate that entire template. Please give it some time, especially if you ain't got the best Wi-Fi. It is a lot of databases, everything being duplicated in one place to make everything fresh again. So what I like to do is just take the new one, move it here. Let's insert some dates just for us. So we're gonna put the 1st of April. Quick maths, I say quick maths, what's 12 weeks from the 1st of April? We're gonna end on the 29th of June. So let's just add a new goal. Let's just say we want to be an influencer, so we want to grow my TikTok. So essentially what it is, the current total, let's say we're at, I don't know, let's say we've got 500 followers and we want to get to our first 1,000 followers. Let's add another goal. Let's say we want to do 3 city trips. You know, money's long, we can do this. And let's just say we've been to 1 city trip already, we've got 2 city trips left to do. And if you did want to add pictures in, you just click add a cover, and obviously that's not someone swimming, but that's how you would add cover. Obviously your complete section will be empty because none of your goals are completed. So we've added our goals. Now let's go back and add our tactics. So what's gonna make me grow my TikTok? So let's say we're gonna post every day. Every single day. We are going to batch create content every week, or let's say plan content every week. And we are gonna spend 30 minutes a day engaging with people in my niche. Okay, that's been done. So for 3 city trips, how are we gonna do this? So we're gonna say search for weekly bargains. Okay, so we've got our tactics now. So this is the part that I feel like is gonna catch out everybody. So as before you saw it, there was already weeks duplicated. So essentially what you wanna do now is fill this out. Remember, we're not going to fill out the due dates, the weekly scorecards, and the week selects, because this is the week we are going to duplicate. Under the title we duplicate, we're going to just start adding these in and relate them to our goals. So I'm just going to quickly do that and speed through a lot of this. Okay, so once you have that done, essentially what you want to do now is you want to link this to the goal. So the goals you've added should automatically show up in once you try to select the goal. Now, so once you've linked it to the goals, the next thing you want to do is obviously frequency. So how many times per week are you going to do this? So for the TikTok one, we're going to post every single day. We are going to plan our content once a week, and then we are going to spend 30 minutes every day engaging. So that's 717. We're going to obviously then search for bargains, etc, etc, etc. It's important you assign the right frequency, because this is going to help to calculate on your actual ticket off section which one is 7 days, which one is once, which one is twice, to make sure that the percentage is being calculated properly. So, and then I'm just gonna quickly add some random days. This doesn't mean anything at all, so yeah, just feel free to insert your days. And then remember, we're gonna leave these 3 blank. So once you've inserted all of this information, if you go over to the side of this template, you will see these little boxes here. These little boxes, you want to tick them. The reason why you want to tick them is because we're about to duplicate this 12 times. Okay, you heard what I said. You can, if you want, duplicate this every week. So you could literally just highlight it on the week. So say you're going to start tomorrow, you would highlight it the day before, get it all ready, assign it to week 1, and then just do week 1. And then obviously when week 2 is approaching and you're completing your weekly scorecard, it will remind you to duplicate week 2. You can do it however you want to do it. You can duplicate 6 weeks just to have half ready and do the other half later. It is totally up to you. I just said duplicate all 12 weeks because it's a one and done job. So it's totally up to you how you want to duplicate it. But essentially you're going to need to duplicate this 12 times overall. So once you select the tactics that we've just entered, you are then going to go over to these 3 dots over here, and we are going to click duplicate. What that does is it duplicates it. Okay, so just for the sake of this video, we are just going to duplicate it twice. So again, select your duplicated week and duplicate. Do you see? Now that you've duplicated your 12 weeks or your 1 week, however you decide to do it, you are going to need to assign it to a week. For this one, we are going to put week 1. And then you see this little circle here, when it goes blue, you just want to drag it down. And what I like to do is go back and add like a tile. So here I'll put week 1. So it kind of separates them so you don't get confused. So now I can then link this to week 1 here. You see it goes blue, this little circle, and then you drag it. Now that we've added the tiles, it's very clear as to how far we need to pull it down. So say we started in the first week of April, well, the 31st, oh sorry, but say we started the 1st. That means we're gonna end on a Sunday. So the due date is the 6th, and then we will drag it down. And then we're going to do exactly the same thing for week 2. Add that in, we are going to drag that down. And then the same for this, we are going to add the week 2 and drag that down. And then week 2, we're going to then, the last day is the 13th, and we are going to drag that down. You're going to do this for all 12. Say if you did by accident put like week 1 in here, and actually let me use a different week so you can see. So say you put week 4 in here by accident and you've assigned it to week 4 just by accident, you wasn't paying attention or whatever, you've added it. When you press these buttons here and you go to duplicate it, can you see it's literally duplicated everything, including the weeks, including the scorecards. So now you're gonna have 2 sets information in your tactics. The formula is doing this calculation in the background. It's gonna say you've got double, so it's gonna say you've done half of your potential scores. That makes sense. So always double check. I'm gonna just undo that so you guys can see. This is how it should look. Your duplicate week should always be at the top and it should always be empty. This down here doesn't really matter what order it's in as long as you understand what's going on. So again, that is just kind of to explain how to duplicate the week. Once that's done, as you can see here, they have started to link to the scorecards. So if you are going to add them on, you can see the weeks we haven't added, there's no percentage bar because there's been no tactics linked yet. So if we go into week 1, you can see it's automatically linked those. It's got the percentage bar and it's got the score ready. As soon as you've done that now and you go over to tick it off, you can see we can hide this one, the no week, so hide group, because we don't need to see the duplicated week. So the no group one, just hide it because that's a duplicate week. So now we can see week 1, and now we know week 1 we've got to go 1 lesson a week, we've got to then plan our content, we've got to search for some city bargains. Only did it twice a week, so we'll just leave it there. So we're meant to engage every day for 30 minutes. Was a bit busy on the Monday, was a bit busy on the Sunday, and then we posted every day because we're taking our TikTok growth seriously. Do you know what I mean? And as you can see, it's adding up. Now if we go down, our percentage bar looks amazing. You can see it's given 88%. We've got a strong start to the week, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, that's just kind of show you how to link and to duplicate your week properly. I feel like that's the part of the template where a lot of people may struggle. So please, please, please always come back to this bit and rewatch the video 1,000 times until you have it like the back of your hand, and then you're just ready to go. Okay, so that brings us to the end of this video. I hope this was helpful, I hope this was insightful, and I hope all my 12-week year lovers can use this template to the full effect and achieve your goals. Again, as you guys know, my channel is all about growing and glowing and smashing our goals out the park. So if that is your vibe, definitely subscribe to the channel and definitely let me know how you find this template. I have already received great feedback and a lot of people love this template already, so I would love to hear your perspective on it too. So definitely comment that down below, or definitely drop me a message on Instagram. I respond to everything. Some people are surprised sometimes when I respond, but I'm actually really very, very friendly. If you do have any pages that you want me to dive in a bit more on my Notion, please let me know and I'll get that done for you. Or if you have any pages that you wish for me to create and run through with you, then also let me know and I can get that done for you. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I definitely will catch you in my next one. Love you. Bye.